So on to our next one. Okay, we're on page 92. Okay, rural settlements. So we'll look at two rural settlements up in Yorkshire, which is up in the north area of the UK. Okay, so Yorkshire Wolds is all countryside. Okay, so it's a countryside area, not an urban area at all. It's mainly farmland. So that's the three bits I underlined there. The name, countryside, and it's mainly arable farmland, which means they grow lots of crops. Okay, I don't know why it's so blurry, sorry. There are no large settlements on the Wolds, okay, but many smaller villages and hamlets. Now again, villages and hamlets, there, if you think back to our pyramid for hierarchy, they were our two very bottom ones. A hamlet is tiny, okay. They're spaced out, they're dispersed, okay, but fairly evenly. And then two things. Burton Fleming is a nucleated pattern, whereas Rayton is in a linear pattern. So we can add those two together. Okay, so Rayton is a linear settlement, whereas Burton Fleming is nucleated. Now again, I've been very generous, and I have found both of these on the map for you, so it helps with your assignment. Okay. So for question one, okay, there's a lot of questions here, but they're all pretty short. For question one, you only study figure 1, which is on page 93. It's the map. What is the 4-figure grid reference for Burton Fleming? I'll show you where that is. Why is it a good example of a compact or nucleated village? So how can you tell it's nucleated? Number C, or letter C. Use the map extract to suggest the functions and services available in the village. So I want 3 things. So what 3 services are available? Again, you may need to go to the back of the book to find the symbols pages, okay? And what functions do you think the little village has? Okay, so again, you're not going to find a university there or a big shopping mall, so you're not going to answer with those things. It'll be small stuff. Describe the site of the village. Okay, now the site is the physical attributes of it, okay, or characteristics. So look for contours and location. Okay, is it near to the ocean? Is there any ocean or sea or lake that you can see on the map? Is it on high ground or low ground? Is it surrounded by vegetation? Is it an open land? Is the land around it flat or mountainous? Those kind of things. Okay. And E, why do you think early settlers chose this site? Okay. Actually, will we do E? Yes, we will. Why do you think early settlers chose this site? I would go back to your New Wider World textbook and look at old functions of cities. If you look at Burton Fleming and just look at, again, think about the type of land around it, think about the functions it may have had. Was it defensive? Was it for trade? What kind of things can you see? There's a very, very obvious one for Burton Fleming in particular. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and show you where Burton Fleming is on the map, then we'll go on to question 2 and 3. Okay, so this is page 93, okay. Got our scale right down here at the bottom. I don't think you need to use that too much. Up in the corner here, you can see where the coast is. Okay, and there's a bigger settlement up here. Burton Fleming is this little nucleated settlement right here. So when you're looking at 1E, why do you think early settlers chose here? Something should be jumping out to you straight away. If you look back at the old types of functions settlements had, okay, there's one in particular. Rayton is just up here, okay, and it's a linear settlement along this A165, this red pinky road, okay. So there are the 2 settlements I've highlighted for you. I'm going to go back to question, actually no, I'll stay here. Question 2 says study figures 1 and 2. This is figure 1, figure 2 is on the next page, okay, and it says what direction was the photograph looking, okay. The next, let me just flick the page, the next figure is of Burton Fleming, okay, it's looking in this way. So I've pretty much given you the answer to 2A. So what direction was the photograph looking? Remember, these maps are always orientated with north pointing that way. It says 2B, locate on the map the intersection of the 2 roads at the bottom right of the photograph. Give the 6-figure grid reference of the intersection and its height above sea level. Okay, so let's jump on to the next. C as well says, what is the name of the important house and estate shown by letter X? So let's have a look at this next photo. Okay, so on page 94, okay, Burton Fleming. So it's looking for this intersection just here. Okay, so here's the village. Okay, photo is looking this way. we got a road coming up here. So what you need to do is go back to the map and find this road coming up from the south in to the village, and then find this intersection. Okay, you're asked to give the 6-figure grid reference and the height above sea level. Also then in the background beyond, you've got this letter X in this kind of perfect rectangle shape. So let's go back to our map and see. Okay, so in this case I'm just looking at Burton Fleming now. Okay, so you need to come out of here and find the road where the two roads meet, just outside of Burton Fleming, and then you should see a number or something beside it to find out how high above sea level it is. Now remember to give your answers in meters or feet. Then beyond Burton Fleming, up here somewhere, you're going to have to find what that kind of rectangular shape was, the name of the area at X. Alright, so that's your questions 1 and 2, very, very straightforward. Question 3, okay, talks about writing, which is just, you can just see it up here. Okay, it says use map extract, which is this, figure 1 and figure 3 to answer the questions. So again, this time I'm just going to jump over here to writing. Okay, this is writing just here. You can see the way it's this linear village, comes along like that. It says use figure 1 and 3 to answer the following questions. Okay, so 3A, what is the number of the main road that passes through the village? Lovely, I've actually accidentally given you that already. 3B, what functions and services are available in the village? Again, I want 3 for that, please. Okay, so what functions and services are available? You'll need to look just at this village area, look at your symbols pages at the back of the book. 3C, what is the name of the much larger settlement towards the top of the photograph? So again, we're going to have to go to our photograph in just a moment and look at what settlement is to the north of Rayton. Okay, and D, what is the 6-figure grid reference for the large house surrounded by trees at the bottom of the photograph? So let's have a little look. The bottom of the photograph will be south of Rayton. So if I flip the page here, okay, here's our photo of Rayton. Okay, so what we have, let me just bring this out a little bit so we can see the whole photo. Okay, this is Rayton here, coming up along this crossroads. Okay, so this is the main road going off up here. This is north. We got this house here in this all this vegetation, so you're going to look for kind of a large vegetation area with just a single 1 or 2 buildings just south of Rayton, and then it wants to know what this bigger settlement is just off up here. Okay, so you need to find those 2 things on the map, all right, and then answer from there. That is your questions. Okay, and we're just going to continue on to our last case study, of which there's no questions but some really, really good photographic evidence of a change over time and a change in function. Okay. Okay, very quickly. So on to the next page, on page 96. Okay, we got inner city development now. So we've looked at the rural fringe in Cambridge, we've looked at the rural areas in Yorkshire. Now we're looking at inner city development, and we're in London, a place called the Isle of Dogs. Okay, not I love dogs, the Isle of Dogs, and it's the very centre. This is an area right in the centre of London. Okay, central London has witnessed huge changes in land use, okay, and prosperity. So it's gained wealth and it's changed its land use, what the land is used for, and its function over the last few decades. Mainly the CBD, I put CBD changes there. Okay, it has been dominated by the shipping trade, so that was its original function, this area. Okay, and then industry. So as shipping, you can see in the photograph over here, okay, these are all canals and just along the River Thames, which ran right through here. So this was all about shipping, and then because of that, industry built up. Okay, so again, I'll look at this photo in just a moment. However, the port facilities in central London became obsolete and declined. So a couple of years, well, years later, the ports closed and industry closed. Okay, in the 1980s, the government invested money in the Docklands through the Docklands Development Fund or Corporation. The area was cleared of derelict buildings, so it was all a brownfield site, and they cleared all of that away. And new infrastructure, new roads and transport and stuff was put in, and it is now a thriving office and business centre. So it is now one of, London actually has 2 CBDs, okay, a thriving place, offices, businesses, banking and so on. So it's completely changed. So what we're going to do is highlight those few bits. Okay, this is the Isle of Dogs in 1970. Okay, so what we can see here, don't know why that's not on straight. No. You can see the river bending away up here, okay? They created these ports or harbors, okay, for ships. You can see how many ships are in here. Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 big ships that I can count. So it was all about shipping. You can see the industries up here with the smoke and stuff and all the rest. Okay, so that's what it was like. Then all of the shipping moved away. It moved further down the river near the ocean. So then all these industries closed. So the function changed. Okay, so the Isle of Dogs in 1983, only not even 15 years later, they still had all the harbours. Okay, these are the same three canal harbours that have been built, but they've cleared loads of the land now. Okay, so lots of it is left open, so now they're going to redevelop it and change it. Alright, Isle of Dogs in the year 2000. Okay, so again, another 15, 17 years later. You can just see one of the docks here. Alright, so this is one. There is still another one just in here as well. Alright, so they haven't got rid of everything. But now you can see, look, all of these typical CBD tower blocks, no green space, lots of buildings in here, okay, lots of new roads, railways, everything. And this is all banking and offices and business now. So in the short space of 30 years, that whole area has changed. If we had another updated one, all of this area here has a huge big entertainment center, okay, it's called the O2, sponsored by a phone company, and massive big skyscrapers all the way around here now. Okay, so that's how our functions change. There's no questions with that last case study about London, it's just the first two, okay? And they're not an assignment, it's not to be submitted.